Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Bavarian and this is Crusader Kings 3, and if what you are seeing is scaring you, then be aware that this episode will be incredibly scary, because in this episode I get a new heir by the name Mfanwifej Test 981, but more importantly I will tell you that I was wrong about something that, I said when covering at the pre-release stage CK3, and that I would like to correct myself, because whenever you are wrong about something, it's a huge opportunity to say, okay, you know what, I was wrong, I adopt a new position, and now I'm in a much better argumentative position. That is always my approach to things, and I love being proven wrong when it comes to modding in CK3 in particular. Now this mod, and what you're seeing, is just tangentially related to what I will talk about, so let's just cut into the topic that I actually mean, and then let's use the tangent to get where we need to go. When I covered CK3 in pre-release, I said a lot of things that I can still stand by, and that is still very much my opinion in regards, for example, to Merchant Republics, to the Byzantines over there, so many different things where I believe that I was indeed correct. However, there's one big thing where I said something that, I mean, even back then there was a bit of a back blow, but nothing significant at the end of the day. It was always a very civil discussion, but I said that I would not want an EU4 style peace system in CK3. I have been proven wrong, and now let's dive into why that is the case, and why I thought back in the day that I was correct. Now what you're seeing right here is a modder resource. This is on the workshop called, I believe, Greater Earth Map Preview. I think that is the term anyway. Maybe Greater Globe Map Preview. I'm gonna have it in the description so you can check it out. It is currently in this state. You shouldn't be playing in it. I would not recommend it because, well, everybody's the same culture, the same religion. It is literally just a modder's resource. But this resource is currently being implemented into Crusader Universalis, a really interesting upcoming mod that wants to, sort of port CK3 into the time period of EU4. So 1444 to, I think, 1815 or 1818, I'm not entirely certain, but one of those years is, without a doubt, the end date of EU4. This is a really interesting and a really intense project, and one of those project's questions, of course, is how do we do peace deals, which will bring us in a second to where we need to be. So what you can see right here is the weekly patch update, and spoilers, it isn't updated weekly. They're currently working on, again, transferring everything that they have here already into the CK3 world map. Let's just load in, because they are indeed working on it. You can see I'm playing Friedrich, I believe the second here. Is that really only the second? Either way, we are playing a character that is the current Holy Roman Emperor, and this is the work that was essentially put in by Crusader Universalis. A while ago, I featured a mod that was called 1419, that is by Terra, one of the mods in my Discord, and Terra is also just talking. It's not like they're not going to collaborate or anything, but they are talking because there's a lot of resource sharing going on, of course, and tricks sharing, and they were talking about making something happen in the 15th century. As you can see, there's already a lot of work done. I mean, not over here and not down there, but just in general, what you can see here is quite impressive. We have a lot of changes when it comes to, who these people are, who is currently ruling, what they are doing, and what the player will be able to do. I'm very impressed by everything that we are indeed seeing here already. This mod is highly ambitious, and I would recommend not just checking out this mod in the workshop, because again, that is a no longer up-to-date weekly snapshot sort of what they have already done when it comes to their work. You can see the religion is not currently up-to-date, but it seriously does not matter, because this is currently in join their Discord. I 100% want to recommend to you that you join their Discord. Go check out the work that they are currently doing, maybe even help them if you are able and interested to do so. This mod is highly ambitious, not just in the scope, with this map and what they've already changed with the world map, but also with stuff like the Reformation, Holy Roman Empire mechanics, of course, and then it's not implemented yet, and I don't know how to kind of, get it out here and show it off, but they are also working on a bit of a native and a colonization system, which should be incredibly interesting. In this mod, however, and this is the thing where I was wrong, and I'm very happily wrong. What is this, by the way? Let me just check this. Governorship, right? You can give governors to certain territory if you just are strong enough. I believe at least that is it. Let's check this out here for a second. Governorships are a form of non-dynastic landholders that pay additional amounts of tax to their overlord. Interesting. So you can see that much of the land here in the north of France and in the Benelux states is essentially under governorship. What they are implementing now, thanks to one of their most talented modders, goes so much further than anything that you can see here right now, and I don't want to talk this down. This is also already amazing progress and what they are implementing on the new map, but what they are working on when it comes to peace deals is insane. Let's check it out. So this is now a vanilla game, except with the actual mod loaded in, that mod being called Sue for Peace Beta by Castox, one of the team members in Crusader Universalis. It is on the workshop, I recommend checking it out. I do not currently recommend playing with it, primarily because it is half proof of concept and half done. It will be fully released once the actual Crusader Universalis mod comes out, you know, for good. Let's just check out the fate of England, because this does something so tremendously interesting that my position was no longer something that I could actually hold. Seriously, I love arguing, I love being right, of course, who doesn't, but I will admit, anytime that I can, when I was wrong, when I did something where I could have been better, you know, when I said something that isn't accurate. So let's check out this amazing peace menu. Now, when I talked about the EU4 peace system menu, in my defense, what I meant was that I don't think that it is period appropriate to make it so that you can just take anything that you want regardless of claims. It would just, you know, upset the entire CK3 gameplay loop, and I stand by that. But what he delivered, what Castox delivered, is it has nothing to do with what I was talking about when it comes to the EU4 menu. This one, it's incredible. So in this one, you can go and you can give domain, for example, you know, any of our holdings. So let's just get rid of the, where do I do that? There you go. These are the offer screens. You can see what you can offer and what you're getting at the same time. But what you can see right here is we have this give domain button, we have the give claims button, we can release vassals, which, by the way, I originally thought would release vassals, but it actually releases the vassals to our enemy, meaning that they take them over. I wish there was also a button for just releasing vassals, just to gimp someone, sort of, and make their vassal free. For example, if it was one of our family members, I think that would be pretty cool. But that aside, then there's also treaties, and this is where I had no standing anymore with my argument. Just look at this. This is something that I would call both gameplay effective, where you just can do something that isn't just conquering or, you know, getting some more prestige or getting some more piety or some splendor. This is something where you can roleplay and at the same time achieve something in gameplay terms. We got the Unconditional Surrender. You can see some of these don't work yet. The peace through marriage doesn't work. That I believe suicide, I'm not sure whether it works, but it might. This is, as Castox explained in the Discord, this is more oriented towards gameplay, for example, in Japan, where honor killings after you lost a war, you had to kill yourself because of the shame that you had brought over your family, were quite common. Then you have humiliation, you have conversion, a weak hook and a strong hook. You have vassalize if you are a diplomat, war reparations if you're greedy, a decimation of maybe the army, or maybe it is actually a decimation of the population, bringing it down development in a country. I'm not certain about that. Sacrifice everything, human sacrifice doctrine, very cool. And then the Inquisition, I assume for Reformation style wars. This is insanely cool. Because as I said, when I was talking about the EU4 style menu, what I was primarily thinking of was seeing CK3 as a board game, which I don't want to do. I refuse to see it like that. I think that is a thing that is quite counterproductive. What I want out of CK3 is role-playing and map painting combined with that role-playing, and this exact menu is 100% what I wanted out of it. Now, the more interesting thing, or rather, another interesting thing that comes out of this is that I could, for example, I give you some of my domain, and then I will humiliate you. Okay, humiliation probably not the most important thing. Maybe weak hook would be one of those things that makes sense here. I could also still take vassals. You just need to balance it out. It works a bit differently. You go over 100% in your war score. In this interface, you can go, I believe, to maybe around 200%. Although the game, so the vanilla game, will peace you out after 6 months of being at 100%, so you need to make your peace fairly quickly, or just, you know, get over 100% fairly late after you siege something simultaneously, for example. But this entire thing is tremendous. I really hope that when Crusader Universalis hits, that we get this exact mod, except in a proper CK3 period. For example, this one right here, I don't think that this will be necessary when we are playing in Europe primarily, of course also in Asia and in Africa, but there is no Japan, for example, so I don't think that this is necessarily something that we need. On the other hand, if I win a war and I can finally seal peace through marriage, why wouldn't I do that? A generation later, it will also put me into a very strong position, make it so that, I could go ahead and say, hey, wait a minute, my grandson all of a sudden has a claim on your kingdom because he is the son of your daughter. Would be great, could have a lot of stuff going on there when it comes to succession crises. This is an incredible mod because not only does it bring the EU4 style system in, proves me wrong, which is already, just touché, I guess, but it also makes it so that you can take things that are primarily roleplay oriented. You can also, by the way, still use the vanilla things. So, for example, if you really want to stick to your war goal, in this case, if I was Harold IV Hardrade, I would probably say I just want the Kingdom of England, and that is everything that I want. You just go with the Enforce Demands button that ignores everything that is up here. but most importantly, you can take things and give things in a war. If it was a particularly bloody war, for example, nobody really won and you want to roleplay that everybody gets a bit of an exchange of, for example, what they just occupied within that war just changes hands because we are entering a bit of a stalemate. I would love it. This mod by Castox and by the Crusader Universalis team is incredibly promising, and I think Crusader Universalis as a whole is promising, and I wanted to really make sure that now that it is Christmas, at least here in Germany, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas by the way, Happy holidays, whatever you do personally. I hope that you're having a great time at the end of 2020 here, but most importantly, I just wanted to say this is my Christmas of confession. Today I told you I was wrong and how, and I hope that I was able to show you this absolutely stunning, this simply amazing mod, because it is most certainly worth it. Now, with that being said, I would like to thank the members of the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Also, did you know, if you go to nexus.gg/OneProBavarian, link in the description right now, you can also purchase Paradox games at a discount, a Christmas discount. Go check it out. It supports me, of course, directly. Thank you, dear barons, dear counts, and dear dukes. I love you all. You are all gorgeous, and I'll see you later. Alligator.